Hi, my name is ColdBeer and let's start with Revenge of the Savage Planet. The first part of the game was loved by many, and the second one is a proud owner of a very positive review score as well. Here, across multiple planets and myriad challenges, you will be tasked with exploring and understanding these strange alien worlds. You will find plants to scan, creatures to capture, lakes to swim, caves to spelunk, mountains to climb, upgrades to craft, potato salad to make, and hundreds of secrets to uncover. You can play the game alone or in co-op mode with your best friend, mother-in-law, or with, I don't know who you keep in your basement. I don't judge. Subscribe. Anyway, here 4 large worlds await you, each with their own weird and sometimes dangerous plants and creatures. And yeah, you'll have to capture dozens of strange animals and monsters and store them in pens near your habitat. People who play the first part are complaining about the third-person mode instead of the first, but in general still applying positive reviews. So you are in good hands here. Sworn. This is a 1 to 4 player co-op action roguelike RPG, where you will explore and reclaim a fallen Camelot from the reign of a corrupted Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. You can play the game alone and hack through hordes of disgusting enemies, or team up with your mother-in-law and slay evil hordes in good company. The game supports up to 4 players, so if you somehow have this amount of friends or relatives you can blackmail to play this game with you, this could be heaps of fun. So basically here you will meet familiar friends and foes from Arthurian legend, discover the source of spreading darkness over Avalon, and befriend and learn from powerful characters such as Merlin. Yeah, he can teach you a hocus-pocus spell that eradicates your enemies like flies. People on Steam are saying that this is a nice clone of Hades with hints of Diablo, and it is very enjoyable, but as a downside, it lacks content. You will finish the main story in around 10 hours. The Stanley Parable. This is a first-person exploration game. You will play as Stanley and you will not play as Stanley. You will follow a story and you will not follow a story. You will have a choice and you will have no choice. But as you explore slowly, meanings begin to arise, the paradoxes might start to make sense, perhaps there is something in there after all. Stanley Parable is a different game from all the others, and it has high replayability value, and by that I mean that you can get up to 19 endings here. Yeah, 19 endings. Fun fact, 19 is the age you still can't buy alcohol in Lithuania. You have to make your own, I guess. Papers, please. I'm sorry, I must read this with my accent in full glory. This is how I actually spoke in English some 7 years ago. The communist state of Arstochka has just ended a 6-year war with neighboring Kolechia and reclaimed its rightful half of the border town. Your job as an immigration officer is to control the flow of people entering the Arstochkan side town from Kolechia. Among the crowds of immigrants and visitors looking for work are hidden smugglers, spies and terrorists. Using only the documents provided by travelers and the Ministry of Admission's primitive inspect, search and fingerprint systems, you must decide who can enter Arstochka and who will be turned away or arrested. So the beautiful communist state is very proud of their country and you are at the front, preventing those democratic liberal pigs from entering your paradise. And no, my accent is not Russian and not even Slavic, but it's Eastern European, that's for sure. Dredge. Dredge is not just a fishing game, it's a fishing game with a twist. After dark it becomes a Lovecraftian fishing game. The world around you is teeming with creatures from the void, and when the night sets in, our worlds collide and cosmic horrors enter our realm. Not as scary as your ex-mother-in-law, but still terrifying things. So ideally you want to return to a harbor before the night sets in, so you won't become a dinner for some malevolent demigod of the depths. You can also dock in some safe location and sleep during the night. Of course, it is easier said than done, because the game uses a very cool time management mechanic. If you do nothing, time doesn't move. Like for real, if you just swing on the waves and admire the horizon, you can stay like this forever. But when you start sailing, the timer starts ticking, and at 6 PM Lovecraftian madness starts to settle in. This is a wonderful and honestly kinda relaxing game. Well, except when you go into mangroves. Oh, it's not relaxing at all. Anyway, the game is absolutely 10 cold beers out of 10. A must play. Alfred Hitchcock, Vertigo. It's really hard to say anything about this game and keep my short review spoilers free, but I will try my best. So here you are a person and you do things in the world, and there are adventures and dialogues, and things happen. There, a true spoiler free review. I'm just kidding. Anyway, jokes aside, this is an original story about obsession, manipulation and madness, inspired by Alfred Hitchcock's masterpiece Vertigo. You will experience a powerful narrative paying tribute to the visual and storytelling techniques of the thriller genre. You will investigate what happened through the vision of 3 characters. Everyone has a different story to tell, and in the end all the pieces will come together solving a terrible mystery. Along the way you will explore several timelines to cross-check the events and separate reality from deceptive memories. You know, reality is sometimes worse than madness. The Deadly Tower of Monsters. The game treats itself as a 1970s movie. That is not a joke, that is the whole concept of the game. It is filled with classic themes such as the daughter versus tyrant father, the planet full of innocent ape creatures, the dashing space-age liberator, the robot companion, or the tower full of treacherous mutations. As developers say, a timeless classic for all ages. So in general, this is an action-adventure sci-fi comedy game with dynamic narration set in a retro-futuristic environment. You can play it alone or together with your friends or mother-in-law on a shared or split screen. Game has full controller support and, honestly, full support of your poverty, because the price is more than friendly. Ship of Fools. This is a seafaring roguelite co-op game where you play the fools, the only creatures fool enough to brave the sea. The great lighthouse that once protected the archipelago is broken, and a storm of malice and corruption is coming. So you, together with your shipmate, will jump aboard and make your voyage across the sea. Man the cannons, ready your sails, and protect your ship from sea monsters over multiple runs. It's up to you to defend your home from the almighty aquapocalypse. People are saying that the game is hard, but not too hard, so it doesn't ruin your mood. Also, you can play it alone, but it's not what the intentions of the developers were, so if you don't have a friend, skip this one. Detroit: Become Human. Here, decisions will dramatically alter how the game's intense, branching narrative plays out. Your choices really matter, not like in real life. Basically, the whole game is built around your choices. You can't do anything here except to choose what to do in certain situations. Well, also you move around a little and search for clues, but that's kinda it. And every decision you make, no matter how small, affects the outcome of the story. And in this game, no playthrough will be exactly the same. You can replay again and again to discover a totally different conclusion, sometimes absolutely unexpected one. Well, let's be honest, you probably won't do that many times, but it's nice to know that the ending you got is really unique. Also, you can try the free demo version on Steam. Braid. I always say that this is a game perfectly suitable for beer-loving people. You know, when you are drunk you make a lot of mistakes. For example, you want to send your ding-dong pic to your ex-girlfriend but accidentally send it to your aunt. And that's not the worst that could happen while you're drunk. Worst thing is when your aunt sends you something similar back. So this game is perfect for those who make a lot of drunken mistakes. Here you can turn back time and start your moves over and over again. Undo all the bad things you have done. Although you cannot ever unsee that picture your aunt Olga sent you, this game will teach you the wrong concept of life, that everything you do is easily undoable. Blasphemous 2. Awakened in a strange new land and displaced from your final resting place, you thrust back into the endless cycle of life, death and resurrection. There is no other option than to explore this perilous new world and uncover its long-forgotten secrets. There is nothing game-changing or very innovative in the second part of the Blasphemous, but you know the rule, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Your journey starts anew in a series of enchantingly grotesque landscapes, oozing gothic charm and littered with unforgiving traps. How you tackle the labyrinthian world remains at your discretion. There is no wrong turn to be made, only scores to settle. Taking down your enemies won't be easy, but the game is offering more chances to customize and improve your skill set, along with several new unique weapons to wield, so victory might just be within your grasp, but probably not. SpellForce: Conquest of Eo. The title itself is a spin-off from the famous RTS RPG SpellForce games, and this time it's a turn-based strategy RPG with 4X elements similar to Heroes of Might and Magic. You know, when you have a rich lore, you can start experimenting. What we will get next? SpellForce racing game? First-person shooter? You know, I would play these. Also yes, in Conquest of Eo you will have your town, or as they call it here, a tower, where you can research various skills and abilities and other goodies. You have a huge map to explore and turn-based battles with various monsters. The hero's formula is here and it's working very nicely. You will have to choose one out of 3 unique classes, or you can create your own custom mage and send armies on countless quests. Or, you know, conquests. Pun intended. All 3 classes plays differently. For example, if you choose Artificer as your leader, you may create powerful artifacts that make your army stronger. But if you play as Necromancer, then you instead of various glyphs can raise an army of undead warriors and conquer the land with swarms of low-cost units. That makes your army weaker, but you can breed it quicker. That really changes the gameplay and your tactics in general. Animal Well. Upon release, this indie project hit the gaming world like a sledgehammer. Everyone was like,
"Dude, have you seen that game? It's so good!"
And it still holds that rating with above 90% of positive review score. The art and atmosphere of Animal Well is absolutely stunning and is a treat for everyone who likes games like this. Also, it doesn't hold your hand or you know, that other thing. The decisions you make, the puzzles you solve, the exploration part, everything is awesome. It's weird to realize that all of this was made by one man. Like seriously, I've heard that he even made his own game engine instead of just using some already available. So either he was very talented or very poor. The talent is obvious, and after selling close to 1 million copies, he's definitely not poor anymore. Anyway, let's not count other people's money and instead count our own. If you can afford the game, it's a must-play, no doubt. Batman, the Telltale series. He'll make discoveries that will shatter Bruce Wayne's world and the already fragile stability of a corrupt Gotham City. Also, your choices will determine the fate of the Batman. Just like in Telltale's The Walking Dead series, here you can choose your own adventure and dive deep into this cool visual novel. The game includes 5 episodes, and as people on Steam are saying, this is a great adaptation with interesting characters of the Batman franchise. Voice acting is nice, the script is engaging, and if you like games like that, it's almost a must-play. You know, seriously, there aren't many great visual novels you can play, especially not on this level. One nitpicky thing that may discourage you is that if you choose a non-violent path, the game will probably fail to react accordingly in several situations, so just beat everyone and enjoy the story. Amnesia Rebirth. I admit that I am a pussy, and I have never played the game. I watched Markiplier playing it and it was quite a fun experience. It has all the creepy vibes previous Amnesia games had, but it is a bit less scary. I was expecting, you know, the level of horror we all felt in the first Amnesia: The Dark Descent, but Rebirth is only about 30% of that. The good thing is that if you are like me, you can probably play the game without having a heart attack. But the bad thing, at least for me, was that this time you are a pregnant woman. That sounds kinda sexistic, but let me explain, it's actually not. I just can't immerse myself in the role of a pregnant woman. I lack empathy, and if you are a man, there is a big chance that you can't do that as well. You know, I don't care about her baby, so that creepiness level is way lower for men who are playing the game and probably way higher for female players, especially pregnant ones, although I really doubt that they are the target audience though, as someone in the comments said that Rebirth is the true definition of
not great or terrible.
Despite that, it is a really beautiful game with a great story, environments and some spooky stuff in general, and this price is just about right to get your filthy fingers on it. Trepang 2. He will take on the shoes of an escaped soldier who has no memories of his past life but is infused with supernatural abilities. All you want is revenge for something, you know, and you'll stop at nothing. You will deliver devastating punches, sneak around in the shadows, wield powerful weapons, and give the bad guys a taste of their own medicine. Or a taste of pineapple in the potato salad, which is way worse and should be banned by Convention of Geneva or something. So anyways, you can already tell the game has strong horror vibes and has visuals and atmosphere similar to legendary Fear games. Here you'll find 6 difficulty levels, so even if it looks hard to crack, on easy it is quite easy. Game has above 90% of positive reviews on Steam and you can play the free demo version as well. Pentiment. This game looks kinda dumb, but it's made by Obsidian Entertainment. Yeah, the same guys behind Pillars of Eternity, Fallout New Vegas, The Outer Worlds, and many others.
What are the others?
Oh, shut up! This is a narrative-driven historical game focusing on character development, with heavily stylized art and choice-driven storytelling in early 16th century Bavaria. You will play as Andreas Moller, a clever illustrator caught up in a series of murders in a secluded abbey over the course of 25 years. You will be responsible for conducting your own investigation to decide the fate of the community, but each decision will have lasting consequences and draws you closer to the center of underlying conspiracy. People on Steam are saying that the writing is top quality, art style is amazing, and animations are great. And yeah, the game has an overwhelmingly positive review score as well. Heavy Rain. Here you'll experience a psychological thriller filled with innumerable twists and turns. Here every choice matters and the endings are many. Here you'll try to solve the mystery and hunt a murderer known as the Origami Killer, named after his personal style of leaving behind folded paper shapes at crime scenes. So here 4 characters, each following their own leads and with their own motives, must take part in a desperate attempt to prevent the killer from claiming his next victim. You need to think fast and act even faster, as every choice and move you make can result in a dramatic, game-changing consequences, and even determine who lives and who dies. Or maybe you are the killer the whole time. It's not a spoiler or something, I haven't played this game so far, but I am really tempted now. I like games like Detroit Become Human, Wolf Among Us, and similar story-rich tales, so how this story ends is entirely up to you. Sunless Sea. This is a horror gothic game. Here you'll be able to explore the Victorian Gothic universe of fallen London, with a focus on exploration and exquisite storytelling. But be careful, some trips might lead you to a certain death. Or worse, cannibalism. Or the worst, lack of potato salad. Anyways, people really enjoy the beautiful art of this game. Here you'll also meet some very well painted Lovecraftian sea monsters, and the whole vibe in general is very ominous. Even though you will have to read walls of text here, you will do that with joy because the writing is fantastic. But don't expect fancy combat or fast plot lines full of exciting events. No, game is slow, but the brilliant storyline, writing quality, and world building aspects are all handled very well. The only downside is, since you will die a lot, you will have to start over. If the giant crabs, sentient icebergs and swarms of bats don't get you, madness and cannibalism certainly will. And those nicely written texts won't seem as nice to read for the 10th time. Sunless Sea is more like choosing your own adventure novel than a game. If you like slow-paced, story-rich games, then get in the boat and try to fish the biggest marinated herring you can find. Yes, they come from sea already marinated, if you're lucky enough. The Wolf Among Us. This is a gritty, violent and mature thriller based on the award-winning Fables comic books. You'll discover that a brutal, bloody murder is just a beginning where every decision can have enormous consequences. And it's not only what you choose to do will affect your story, but when you choose to do it as well. You don't need to know anything about the comics this game is based on, because events in this story are set before the events seen in the first book. And this game gives you an option to beat up practically anyone you don't like. Sadly, you can't import that energy-sucking coworker of yours in this game, but hey, you can beat him up in real life instead. I mean, if you are stronger than him. If not, just smile and blame your genes. The Witness. I hate this game. The Witness is for smart people with great memory, and I'm none of these people. And although I like puzzles and all that, but by playing Witness I realized that I'm way dumber than I imagined. So if you like to test your memory and IQ, this is a great title for you. Just keep in mind that the results can be a bit disappointing. The game itself is set on a beautiful open-world island where you have to crack all the riddles to unveil a terrible secret. If you are not some puzzle maniac, you will never get there. But at least the game will show you your limits. Urtuk, the Desolation. This is a dark fantasy tactical turn-based RPG. Here you'll guide your band of adventurers through the ruins of an ancient world in order to, you know, bring your own order and punish the rest. You will recruit new followers, loot the corpses of your fallen foes, and do the best to survive in this harsh and unforgiving realm. Here you'll find a procedurally generated survival campaign, will extract upgrades directly from your fallen enemies and enjoy detailed hand-drawn characters. People are talking that Urtuk has a very nice variety of units, entertaining synergies, and is light on the story in a good way. Alba, a wildlife adventure. This is a very nice game oriented to a younger audience or for people who just want to relax and forget all the ruthless chores of the real world. Definitely not for grumpy old dudes. Also, I have to mention that the review score on Steam is close to 100, so overwhelmingly positive may sound like understatement. You will take control of a girl named Alba as she visits her grandparents on a Mediterranean island. You are ready for a peaceful summer of wildlife exploration with your friend, but when you see an animal in danger, you realize that you have a more important task now. So here, from the idyllic beaches to the ancient castle, a whole island is ready to be explored. The game is open world, so it's very friendly for exploration lovers. Persona 5 Strikers. Here you will join the Phantom Thieves and will have to defeat the corruption overtaking cities across Japan.
Oh no.
Oh yes, so the plot is quite simple. You are on a vacation with your close friends when suddenly a distorted reality emerges and you will have to save everybody. The game is a hack-and-slash JRPG anime action-adventure, in my opinion similar to Devil May Cry, so you could call it a no-brainer, but actually it has quite a nice anime story and interesting characters. The review score on Steam revolves around 90%, so if you like the style you will have a great time. People are also saying that if you played original Persona 5, this is quite the same, just with real-time combat. Also, players are praising the soundtrack. A lot of them are saying that it is one of the best among these kinds of games. The downside is the de novo anti-tamper DRM. Funny thing is that the legal version of this game doesn't have one. Only those who pay must suffer. And now, thank you for watching, have a nice day and I'll see you next time. Also subscribe. Yes, it's good for you. Let's be friends with benefits. Okay.
Subscribe to